What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the All Around. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Anthony. Please tune in on Mondays at 6 p.m. for your entertainment purposes. We will hit current topics, old topics, and everything else in between. Be there or be square. Deuces, my loves. Hi. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another great episode of the All Around. I am your gracious host, the beautiful, the one and only Dr. Anthony. And we have a lot of things that we to discuss tonight. So tonight's show is titled Fucking America. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring out my wonderful producer, the great and illustrious Mark Lee. Where are you, Mark? Okay, so we're just going to take a minute to allow Mark to join the show or whatever. But yes, what I want to discuss tonight is fucking America. It is, we are actually the laughingstock of all nations. I am not understanding why, we supposed to be one of the greatest, well, the greatest nation on the earth and things like that. And we have become the laughingstock of the world by electing a convicted felon as, president and things like that or whatever. We have snowstorms that's, taking over the east. We have wildfires that's taking over the west. And everything else in between. Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing good. There was a lot of stuff going on over at Haytime. We had a birthday party over the weekend, and then we also had a group of folks from Oklahoma that were shooting a film. It was a film about a young lady that's trying to find her way and have self confidence because she's not sure that she is all that, even though she is all that as a singer. So it's a filmmakers, and I think some of the filmmakers are actually up in your area. So they were from DC, came down here to do some shots on Saturday. And all along those lines, so they were shooting in the theater, shooting in the lobby, turning that into a art gallery scene and everything like that, and even shooting some red carpet outside. But yeah, they're a group called Arconic, and I believe that they're based in the DC area, and they also have offices in Youngsville, North Carolina as well. But definitely they have quite a few filmmakers from that area. So it was interesting watching them shoot that film and all along those lines and all in that space. So they were definitely keeping me busy. And of course, we had that lovely thing called snow that kept us kind of out of commission for a couple of days and everything like that. The schools were even on delay today, even though most of the snow is gone. But there's that old wives' tale that I'm sure you're familiar with that if there's any lingering of snow, it's just waiting for its buddies to come and all along those lines. So I know that there's a wives' tale that is out there from Louisiana, but from other places also.
Yeah, we have a lot of those, the superstitions and, all kind of things that, we hear in our childhood that goes into adulthood. So yes, we do have a lot of old tales. So what I was saying is, before you popped in, is there any way possible that you can lighten up your uh, your image
I'm
because
trying to
you're
get them.
super dark?
Trying to get the main screen going and all of that. So while I try to work on that, I just wanted to pop in, say hello and everything like that. But I'm gonna see if we can't get the main one going as well because you said you couldn't hear me on that one. But we're gonna see if we can't
Yeah,
get
I
that
could not hit that
going as
one. No,
well.
it's okay. I mean, you're good. I just want the viewers to be able to see your beautiful face and looking all handsome
I appreciate that.
and stuff over there. So so they know who I'm communicating with, they know who I'm talking to, and who's asking me questions and things like that. So tonight's show is called Fucking America. And so I introduced the show by talking about the snow in the east and the fires in the west, and everything else in between. And we have, not we, but people have elected Donald Trump as president, who is now a certified convicted felon, although he would not do any time and serve any community hours, which I think he should. He is now a convicted felon. So it is just going to be interesting to say the least. I think, as a whole, as a nation, They should remove convicted felon off job applications and off housing and things like that, because if he can serve in the capacity of president of the United States, other people should be able to get jobs and housing to take care of them, themselves, their family, and whomever else, because, it just doesn't make sense. But, it's about white, because they don't care about, his record or anything that he has done, his failures, all because he's white. My thing is, this man has done nothing to prove that he is, a great leader, a great president, a great anything. He has failed in his business ventures. He has failed in life. He has failed at the presidency. And these people still went out in droves and voted against their own best interests to put him back in office. But like I've said before, and I've said many, many other times, it wasn't about the economy. It wasn't about the price of food. It wasn't about anything. It was all about, they did not want that black woman in office. So guess what? Y'all really about to fuck around and find out. You know what I'm saying? So when he is sworn in, and when things don't go as planned, and when your basic necessities are, extremely high, and you can't afford, basic things, blame your damn self, because guess what? You not only voted against your best interest, but you also sided with the KKK, white supremacy, and everything else, and that's how you voted. So when it is all said and done, when it goes down in history, you supported the Ku Klux Klan and you supported white supremacy.
Yeah, it's
Mark.
interesting you bring that up. Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because I know Sasha, who's on our news show and is from the Ukraine, has been talking about how one of his main supporters, Elon Musk, apparently had family members that were in the Nazi Party in Canada before they moved to South Africa. So yeah, there's definitely some history in that space and everything. So I know that Sasha's been bringing that up because he did some research on Elon and everything and found that he had some strong Nazi ties, even during the time that the family was living in Canada before they moved to South Africa, and then moved to back to this area by moving to North America, but yeah, or in the United States. But definitely, he has some strong ties in that way as well. And now there's apparently some infighting between Steve Bannon and Elon Musk. But yeah, there's definitely some racist views that are out there, and it'll be interesting to see because that seems to be what it is: make America great again. Or I heard some people saying that now he's talking about going after Panama and wanting Greenland and wanting Canada to be his 51st state, even though it's big enough to be 6 or 7 states and everything. But yeah, he's got all these imperialistic ambitions.
I mean, he says some wild things out of his mouth and things like that or whatever, but at the end of the day, how does he feel like, he has the authority and the gumption to say that he's just gonna go in and take something from, other people? Like, these people are really sit back and let this happen. These people are not like the Americans that voted for him. These people are not going to sit back and just allow this man to come in and invade their countries and invade their territory. He has another thing coming and things like that or whatever. So it's this is going to be a very interesting presidency, and things. He's getting sworn in on MLK's birthday, so I think that has a lot to do with it. I think I don't think that it's going to be the presidency that he hopes it is going to be. Um, People are already giving him pushback in terms of the Republicans and other people, Democrats. Well, of course, we the Democrats, we've always given him pushback, but we're going to continue to give him pushback. And Republicans are now getting their footing, and they're now standing up to Donald Trump. This man is a complete idiot. Y'all voted for tariffs, which y'all really didn't understand what a tariff was, and y'all still don't get what tariffs are and how it is going to negatively impact you and what you have going on and things like that. Oh, y'all running around talking about, oh, he's gonna, increase the tariffs and things like that or whatever. He might, and he very well may increase the tariffs. But at the end of the day, who do you think is gonna pay for it? It's the consumers. It's you. It's me. Not only did y'all vote against y'all best interest, you voted against my best interest. Not only did you damn yourselves, but you damned us also in the process. But as part of the 92%, as part of the black women who stood strong to support and save this country or whatever, we are taking a step back, and we're going to let you have what have. We're going to let you make it. It's really sad that, you people are very upset that, we said that we're going to take 2 seats back. We're going to take 5 steps back and let you do what you do. You got who you wanted in office. You wanted Trump, you got him. So why are you angry and upset when we said that we would no longer march, we would no longer protest, we would no longer defend, we would no longer do any of those things for you because you voted in your likeness and in the way that you wanted to vote. You voted who you wanted. You got Trump in office, and so now you have to deal with it. But now, we're coming across a lot of things, Mark, on different social media platforms where these white women are trying to so-called call black women out for saying that we're not going to march with them, we're not going to stand with them, we're not going to protest with them, we're not going to do any of those things with them. So you made your bed, now you have to lie in it. When we said march and stroll to the polls, we meant march and stroll to the polls. We didn't mean march and stroll to the polls and vote for Donald Trump and put his back in office. We meant shut him down. But quite naturally, like all the white women do, and it's historically proven that y'all vote against y'all own best interest because you are direct beneficiaries of white supremacy. You are direct beneficiaries of the policies that they put in place because it doesn't directly affect you. So you don't give two rat's asses about it. But when black women say that we don't give a damn about you and we don't care about what happens in your household, at your job, and things like that, oh, now you have a problem with it. Now, and I touched on this a little bit on a couple of shows back, Mark, where I was telling you that the white women that I'm talking about, they are now saying that, black women are trying to fight them and come after them and things like that. Listen, white woman, listen, broad, if we really wanted to fight you, if we really wanted to come after you, we didn't have to wait until 2025. You know what I'm saying? We could have done it a long time ago. And we could have whooped your ass a long time ago. You, your mammy, your grandmammy, your grandpappy, your aunties, your daughters, and whomever else or whatever, because it doesn't take much. Because we stand on business and we got them hands and we can throw. But that's not
Yeah.
what we wanted to do. But we are just saying that we are taking a step back and we're gonna chill and we're gonna let y'all ride this one out and we're gonna sit this one out, because y'all took it upon yourselves to sashay y'all asses into the polls and vote for Donald Trump when we tried to explain to you what was going to happen. And then what is so behooving, Mark, is these people are now coming back talking about why y'all didn't say nothing, why y'all didn't do this, why y'all didn't tell us. We explained it. The Democrats explained it. Black people and black men, black women understood the assignment. You know what I'm saying? Y'all white women and Latinos, y'all missed the boat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all missed everything that was, thrown out there, given to you. Palestinians, all of y'all, talking about don't vote for Kamala, vote for anybody who other than Kamala. But now, how is that working out for you? Now you're begging President Biden and that same Kamala Harris to do something for you. So how is that working out? So now Trump is deportation. So guess what? Your ass is being deported on up out of here. Because guess what? You have to understand, we are foundational blacks. We're not going anywhere. We were stolen and brought here. We were born and raised here. We are Black Americans. We are not African Americans. We did not migrate from the great continent of Africa and come here. We were born here. We have legacies. We have generations upon generations upon generations upon generations of Black women and Black men who are here. Our primary ancestors came from Africa and things like that. But our immediate ancestors were born and raised here in the United States. So guess what? We're foundational blacks, but we ain't going nowhere. Because at the end of the day, white people are used to dealing with black people. We built this country. Our ancestors built this country. We put in blood, sweat, and tears to be able to read, to go march, to go vote and things like that, to build the very White House that this man is about to occupy for the next 4 years. So you cannot compare apples to oranges and compare blacks to you because you have no footing. And what you fail to realize is all of y'all coming over here talking about y'all have a voice. If it were not for the plight of black people, you wouldn't have that voice, people. Please understand. If it were not for the civil rights movement, the Voting Rights Act and things like that, you would not have those same freedoms and liberties that you are so graciously, talking about now. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have had that. Our people did that. Rosa sat on that bus after she was chosen. Dr. Martin Luther King led the culture. You know what I'm saying? But y'all want to be in the culture, but y'all don't want to be a part of the culture. Y'all just want to gain the benefits from the culture, which is a problem. And so for us, the 92% Black women, we are saying no more, no more. We have stood, we have marched, we have protested, but at the end of the day, we're always neglected, we're always disrespected, and we're never put ahead of anyone else. Y'all can take the same qualities that a Black woman has and get praised for those same qualities, while a Black woman is knocked down. And try, you guys love to say the word humble. Y'all try to humble us. You know what I'm saying? So, the full lips, the curvaceous bodies, things that y'all have to pay for that we're born with naturally. We get frowned upon for it, but y'all get praised for it. The same things, when we speak our opinion and we step out there, we can't show emotion. Y'all get praised. Oh, you're sassy, you're jazzy. But Black women is attitudinal, combative. You want to fight. You don't have a sense of decorum and things. Those same qualities and same traits that you benefit from, we get knocked down for. We get talked about. We get told that we need to be humble. We need to be in a place of submission and things like that. So my thing is, since everybody want to say Black women need to do X, Y, and Z, why don't y'all place the same stipulations on other cultures of women and see how well they pan out? Because at the end of the day, you're saying that Black women are basically the only race of women, the only culture of women that are held to those standards. None of the other women are held to those standards. So let's see how it works out for the other women when you hold them to the same standards that you hold Black women. Um,
Yeah, along those same lines and
Mark, some of
everything.
that in. Did you want to
Yeah,
comment, Mark?
no, you was just speaking the truth and a lot of very powerful truth and everything. I just wondering because I did see that he's got some of his performers coming out. I didn't see a lot of us in the list of people that'll be performing in the inauguration on next Monday and everything like that. Because I saw that he's got Carrie Underwood, who we know is somewhat of an American Idol, and Lee Greenwood, I believe is his name, and something like that, and some others that are definitely in the country music realm and maybe even some in the rock realm and everything. But I don't think that I saw many jazz artists or hip hop artists, even though I did see
Hmm.
like a one of the military bands and everything. But it definitely did not look like a lot of people that were coming from our society that were going to be at the inauguration. Because I know he's talking about trying to be diverse and all along those lines, but it didn't look that diverse in what I saw on the inauguration list so far. But I didn't know if you watched that or if you're going to try to escape DC during that particular date, which will be actually ironically our next show because it'll be on Monday the 20th, and that's when our next show is scheduled. So, what is your take on the entertainment that he has selected so far? Because it looked very lily white to me, from what I could tell.
I'm quite sure it's gonna be Lily White because any Black person know they don't want that Chrisette Michelle treatment, because I don't think she's ever shook back from the first time that she performed at the Donald Trump inauguration, talking about she's trying to bring the country together. Girl, they didn't even know who you were. So how you trying to bring the country together? We told you not to go up there, and we told you not to perform for that man, but you didn't listen. You took your little $250,000, so we hope it was worth it. And we hope that you gain whatever you wanted to gain from it and things like that or whatever. But we told you not to go up there and perform. So, for any other Black artists and things like that or whatever, we are not supporting you if you go in terms of supporting that inauguration and that person that those people elected. I know my Black dollars won't be supporting you, and I'm quite sure the 92% their Black dollars won't be supporting you as well. So you make your bed hard, so you have to lie in it. So I'm quite sure that there is not going to be you know a lot of Black people who are going to perform at that inauguration. I know that people, social media was saying that Waka Flocka was mad because he's basically losing his base. What did you think Waka was going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Your base is Black people. Your base is Black women. You thought that we were going to support your ass when you said that you were going to vote for Trump and you wanted Trump and this, that, and the other, and Trump don't like Black women. He don't like black people, but he wants y'all out there pandering and things like that. And you thought that we were going to support by giving you our Democratic black dollars. You thought that we were still going to support you? Nah, player, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So, my thing is, once you choose sides and we see what side you're on, then we understand the assignment. We know where we need to go and we know what we need to do and things like that or whatever. And supporting those type of artists and things like that or whatever in their artistry, that is something that we are not going to do, because I will not spend my black dollars supporting any of that foolishness.
Well, speaking of that, a lot of people have been talking about the irony of the fact that the
Mark,
inauguration is going to be. A lot of people have been talking about the irony of the fact that the inauguration is going to take place on MLK Day. So I didn't know if you had any thoughts around that. I'm sure that MLK himself is probably rolling in his grave and everything like that. But I didn't know if you had any thoughts, because literally it's supposed to be on the 20th, which is MLK Day, and I do know that there are a
yes.
number of people that will be going up to DC not for the inauguration, but to celebrate the legacy of MLK and the important things that he did in terms of given civil rights, some of these same civil rights that people are trying to roll back within the administration and all along those lines. But definitely that'll be a number of people will
I
be
think
up
it's a
there
perfect.
for.
I think it's the perfect ending to a situation. Yeah, so I think it's a perfect ending to a situation. Like I said, it is going to happen on MLK's birthday. So that right there should be a precursor of to what his presidency is going to be like. I don't think it's going to be the presidency that he thinks is going to be. I think that he's going to actually get shut down in this presidency more so than he was in the first presidency, because these people are not about to let him run them up. They're already giving him pushback over the people that he has to run these cabinets and things. How in the hell you gonna put somebody who is not even a native born American over some of the high end of the land, getting our secrets and things like these people are not going to betray us and betray our secrets and stuff like that. History has shown that, when we put these people in positions of power like that, they give our secrets out. They sell the secrets to their countries. So, he's getting a lot of pushback, and I think he's going to continue to get a lot of pushback. And I think it's a wonderful thing that it fell upon Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. And so when we speak on January 20th, we will not be referencing the inauguration. We will be referencing the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And that's where we're going to focus. Because, like I said, the 92%, we're not doing anything. We're not marching for you. We're not praying for you. We're not donating to you. We're not doing any of those things. The only thing that we're going to do is sit back, sip our tea, and go to brunch, handle our business, and celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. That's the only thing that we're going to do. As far as anything else, nothing concerns us. We are not moved by anything. We're not moved by your plight. We're not moved by anything, because we were informed that there's a march that's supposed to, a women's march that's supposed to take place on the 18th, and some of the white women are giving pushback about black women not supporting. Baby, we didn't already told you that we wasn't supporting. So what did you think was going to happen? You know what I'm saying? You thought that we were going to come out and support you? No, we're not supporting you when you clearly voted against our best interests, but you are still a direct beneficiary of white supremacy and the things that you know what I'm saying? So, y'all want to get rid of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And what's so baffling, Mark, is white women were the beneficiaries of a lot of these programs. They benefited more than we did. So they voted directly against their own best interest. And even with the Asians, you know what I'm saying? Y'all let these white folks trump y'all heads and get into y'all heads talking about black people were taking y'all spots. Baby, y'all at the Ivy Leagues colleges, y'all stuff continue to decrease. Y'all numbers
Yeah. Well, they're the biggest ones that
decline. It's
get.
on the decline. We tried to tell you, we tried to warn you, but y'all wanted to, but they wanted to be in tandem with the white folks. They thought, having close proximity to the white people, being good massa and things like that, that they were going to be, direct beneficiaries of, all of these programs and, for their children. Sweetheart, it doesn't work like that. Again, like I said, we're foundational blacks. They're accustomed to dealing with us. Y'all the ones that's trying to be in close proximity. You know what I'm saying? We have stood the test of time. We have stood within the nation. We have stood on
Yeah.
business, and we continue to stand on business. And the next thing that we're going to do, that $1.9 trillion buying power that we have, we're about to tap into that $1.9 trillion buying power, and we're about to pull our money away from these white-owned businesses and things like that, especially Tesla and other businesses. and that remove their support for DEI and things like that. We're about to pull our support. So that 1.9 trillion, we're about to revamp it and we're about to put it into the Black community, into Black businesses and things like that. The movement is already there. The culture is already, up in arms about it. The culture is already moving. So it's just a matter of time before we mobilize and we get everything together where we are circulating our money into our community.
Hey, speaking of circulating money, I did have a question for you because it was a former CNN host that took kind of challenged one of our presidents and everything along those lines, and actually the only actual African American president or Black president and everything. But apparently Don Lemon gave a rebuke of former President Obama for acting buddy buddy with President-elect Trump at the former President Carter's funeral. So speaking on YouTube channel over the weekend, Lemon accused Obama and Trump of yucking it up together, chatting and giggling like kids on the playground, and Lemon pointed to Trump's history of criticizing Obama, including with the whole birtherism conspiracy that falsely claimed that Obama was not an American born and was Muslim. But I just wanted your thoughts on this because I didn't watch that much of the. Matter of fact, I didn't watch hardly any of the funeral, but I do know it was
Well,
a
the thing
major.
about it is, President Obama has a lot of class.
Right.
Just for regular folks like us, we wouldn't get 2 red asses. We would have sat there and we would have ignored the fuck out of him. But President Obama, he has a lot of class and he's a dignified person and things like that or whatever. So he's gonna do what he has to do. So I don't fault him for being cordial and things like that or whatever. And just because he laughed does not mean that he was in agreement. A laugh could mean, like I can't believe you just said that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? A laugh, like, for real, that just came out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, when people are saying, he's cozying up, he wasn't cozying up. He was just, playing his role at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I don't fault him for, any of that and stuff like that or whatever. I just don't fault him at all. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Period.
Yeah, that makes sense. And apparently, more than 400 civil rights groups are calling on Congress to reject the transgender athlete ban and everything. So there are more than 400 LGBTQ and civil rights groups that on Monday, which would be today, urge lawmakers to reenact legislation that would bar transgender athletes from competing in women's sports, claiming the measure, which the House is expected to consider this week, would harm both women and girls and undermine civil rights for all students. So the letter, led by the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, an umbrella group of U.S. civil rights organizations, argues that preventing transgender and gender-conforming youth from participating in school sports nationwide will further isolate and stigmatize an already vulnerable part of the community. So I don't know if you had any thoughts around that, because apparently the civil rights leaders are jumping on the bandwagon and trying to come to the aid of some of these people that are in the LGBTQ and trans community.
Well, honestly, I don't think they should be coming to the aid of these LGBTQ trans community people that's trying to compete against women. Because at the end of the day, your DNA still says man, regardless of what you identify as, and regardless of what you sex change to, it still says man. And there is a grave advantage for a man competing as a woman. My thing is, if you want to have your own category, then have your own category in sports where, if you're a transgender male, you can compete against transgender males. If you're a transgender female, you can compete against transgender females. Keep it fair and keep it equitable. But when you're allowing men who were born men as in changing their sex to identify as women to come over and to dominate sports that are, for women, it's a problem. And nobody is saying that, you can't be who you are. And that's not what I'm saying. Be who you are. But my thing is have your own category. You can't, that's just like, they call me a cis woman. I'm a natural born female because I was born a girl. I was born a female. So, for a male to come over and say, oh, I'm transgender, and I want to compete with you, just like with, like boxing and, things like that. How can I compete with a transgender male and I'm a female? There's no possible way that I can overpower you as a female when you were born a male. You know what I'm saying? It just, the math is not mathing.
The math is not
genetics
mathing.
are not geneticking. You know what I'm saying? It's just not making sense. So, yeah. So, my thing is, if they're going to be and have those categories, they should have their own separate category. That's just like, having, I'm not worried about transgender people who are going into the restroom, and things like that. I'm worried about people who are pretending to be transgender, going into the restroom with little girls and little boys, things like that, who was assault these little kids. Those are not the people that I'm worried about. Those I'm worried about the other people who are,
Yeah, that
for
makes a lot
real
of
life
sense.
sex offenders and things like that or whatever. Because, you know, it's not going to happen because it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, my thing is if we have separate facilities for transgender people, we take the risk of, innocent children being, sexually assaulted. And I'm not saying a transgender person is going to sexually assault a child. I'm talking about the sickos who are going to pretend as if they're transgender to get access to the children. You see?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
So, my thing is keep it separate. Separate, separate is good. So,
yeah, speaking of separate
yes.
and everything, we've got something that has never happened before. We now have Marcus Freeman. It'll be the first. It took him long enough. African American coach. That'll be coaching for a championship team. He'll be going against Penn State because I think he's with Notre Dame. But I just wanted your
Mhm.
take on that.
Well, the thing about it is, it's not that we did not have the talent, and it's not that we don't have the capabilities of, coaching and doing anything. We were just never given the opportunities. And so, when we are given opportunities, we take over and we dominate because we show the skills that we have and things like that. And that's the problem. That's why DEI was put into place. Prime example, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, when he was given opportunity to coach, they laughed at him talking about Jackson State, and things like that. But when they had an undefeated season, they had a perfect record, then, everything was, prime, prime, time. And then when he moved to Colorado and started coaching over there, guess what the white men did? They tried to sabotage him, getting together, trying to run game plans against him just so that he would be, defeated and things like that or whatever. So it's not the fact that we could never be a coach. It's not the fact that we could not coach. It's the fact that they never gave us the opportunity to do those things. And just like, even in the professional realm, we are still having first. It's 2025. Why the hell are we still having first, on anything? First black women to do this, first black man to do that. Why are we still having first? I can tell you why. Because, we are still locked out of a lot of doors that were closed that were not even open to us. So we are just now, reaching back and pulling, other African Americans, other black people through so that we can, start enjoying the riches of all of our hard work and things like that or whatever. And someone said on some social media platform, and I've always stated it myself. We as black people, we have to work 10 times harder just to get a basic job than in a mediocre white man or a mediocre white woman. The most educated group in America is black women. Black women is dominating, education and things like that. But yet and still, we are still lacking when it comes to, positions of power, positions of leadership, positions in Fortune 500 companies. We're still although we have the qualifications and the capabilities and things like that, those opportunities are not given to us unless we create our own opportunities. And when we do create our own opportunities, people are angry about us creating our own opportunities. Just like, for example, Beyonce, she created opportunities for her child. When LeBron James created opportunities for his child, everybody was up in arms. Oh, that's nepotism. But what in the hell you think? All these white folks out here giving their daughters, their sons, laws, and everything else, giving them positions of power and things like that. You don't think that's nepotism? Jerry Jones' whole family work in his organization. You don't think that's nepotism? So why is it a problem when we do it, but it's not a problem when they do it? So we have to stop waiting for a seat at their table, and we have to start creating a seat at our own table. Actually, we have to build our own table, bring our chairs, and have our seats already in line with what we want to do. Because we see that these people are clearly intimidated and in direct competition with us because they feel like we're taking their jobs. We're not taking your jobs. We're just saying that job opportunities should be open to all instead of the nepotism and just because you're white or you know someone. If it's based off of qualifications, hands down, we would get it. But quite naturally, it's not based off of qualifications. That's why the That's why the DEI laws and policies were, implemented and put into place because we lack those opportunities, like those doors being open. Even with medical doctors, they purposely did things to keep black people out of medical programs and things like that or whatever. So even schools, they purposely did things to keep black people out of school. So we had to formulate our own schools. White people came together and they created HBCUs and things like that or whatever for the advancement of us. So we have to stop allowing them to create our narrative, and we have to create our own narrative, and we have to
Yeah.
create our own table.
Yeah. Speaking of our own narratives, speaking of our own narratives, yeah, speaking of our own narratives, apparently Charlemagne the God is mocking President-elect Donald Trump's sentencing in his New York trial and is calling it pure political theater and a waste of time. So on Friday, he was sentenced by a New York judge, Juan Merchant, to unconditional discharge after being found guilty on charges of falsifying business records stemming from the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Briggs' year-long investigation. I guess Charlemagne is saying that this was all somewhat of theater and everything like that. So the Breakfast Club host reacted to the news on Monday's show with co-hosts with their co-hosts discussing the sentencing. But I just wondering how much of this is theater and how much were you glad that he got sentenced and should he have been sentenced more and everything like that?
Well, the thing about it, he should have never been allowed to run for president. But like I said, it's about white because they do what they want to do. All of them are up in arms about Diddy, R. Kelly, Cosby, and things like that or whatever. But you said nothing about Trump. Trump was egregious towards women and people who have disabilities and things like that. But y'all voted him president. But then in the same breath, y'all want to say, "Oh, Diddy need to be locked up? R. Kelly needs to be locked up?" Nah, free him. You know what I'm saying? If you can't hold Trump accountable, they don't need to be held accountable. And if you're gonna hold them accountable, everybody else that played a role into what they were doing needs to be held accountable. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say you're about law and order, in one sentence, and then in the next breath you're saying that Trump should be absolved of his crimes and things like that or whatever. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. But we already knew what was going on. When they were bullshitting and they were like prolonging his trials and things like that. They knew exactly what they were doing and things like that or whatever. But like I said, this country was built on bullshit and is going to operate on bullshit and things like that. So we have to operate within our community and do things.
Hey, Dr. Anthony, along those same lines and everything.
So once we tap into that $1.9 trillion spending and buying power and things like that, they're going to get the message because apparently they're not getting it right now because we haven't hit them. But we definitely going to hit those. Mark.
Yeah, Dr. Anthony, along those same lines, one person has been severely criticized, and she is definitely dealing with a lot right now, is LA Democratic Mayor Karen Bass, who's definitely gotten a lot of criticism, including the fact that she had gone overseas to one of the African nations and everything like that. But I just wondering your take on Karen Bass and the way that she's handling the fire situation and everything. I mean, it's a major tragedy, and she's in the hot seat, literally and figuratively. But I just wondering your take, because they're saying that maybe they should have been some money spent on other things, including maybe even creating some better firehouses, because apparently they haven't built one in several years.
The people have been coming back and debunking. She allocated money towards the firefighters and things like that or whatever. The money that was taken out of it had nothing to do with the firefighters. It's just lies that's going out there. And I know in particular was Khloe Kardashian. First of all, you didn't even attack the mayor of the area that was affected. You wanted to attack Los Angeles mayor. Why? Because she was a black woman. Because that's what y'all do. Y'all come after black women for the least little thing. What the hell is she supposed to go out there and go jump, throw herself in the flames and the fires and things like that or whatever? You know what I'm saying? What y'all need to be doing is looking at those Trump supporters who went out there and purposely started those prayers. That's what you need to be doing. But anytime it's a black woman in a position of power, they're always going to say that she is not capable of running her office and things like that. We knew that California has wildfires and things like that. The wildfire wasn't started because it was naturally done. The wildfire was started because somebody set the fire. You know what I'm saying? But y'all not talking about that. But yet still, y'all want to say that this black woman is the problem that the wildfire spread. So what happened when the rest of the mayors was in there and the wildfires same thing. You know what I'm saying? But Khloe Kardashian, I have a bone to pick with her because you so quick to try to, after this black woman, but you didn't go after that man that was singing in your face, and he had other kids and things like that on you, that black man. But y'all quick to, say something about a black woman. So they can say what they want to say. This woman did what she was supposed to do, and things like that. What they will never do is have me turn against a black woman or a black man. I will never do that. So no, ever.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, I know you're up there in that DC area, and y'all got switching topic just like the football, but it looks like they got an amazing good luck and were able to make it to the next round because it was a tight game. I was watching it yesterday, and that field goal hit the upright, and then it went and
Who
bounced
is
in.
y'all?
Redskins or Commanders
Mark, who is
fans.
y'all?
You
Who
know
is
you're a
y'all?
Commanders
Dr.
fan.
Anthony is not a Commanders fan.
I'm just messing
Who
with
is
you.
y'all?
I'm messing
I
with
like
you. You
the
know I
Saints and
do.
the Cowboys. Who is y'all?
I'm just giving you a hard time because that's your area and everything, but where you live at work. But I was just teasing you because I knew you were not because you're more of a Saints and a Cowboys kind of
I
girl and
understand. I'm
lady
picking
and
back.
everything. We were picking each other
No,
and everything along those
I'm
lines.
definitely picking back.
But they did, yeah. But they definitely did get some good luck, and we'll see how they do. My team is playing this evening, and we'll see how they do against the Rams. So it'll be the Minnesota Vikings against the Rams and everything like that. I am glad to see that in one of the stories I'm seeing that there is some Miles Davis posters that are out there. So I was a fan of Miles Davis. Apparently, there's some
Hmm.
Miles Davis retro jazz music posters that are out there, and they are framed, and that is definitely a legacy musician and everything. So I hope that those things get some major play and all along those lines. I'm glad to see that they're out there. As I just happened to stumble across that story, so I got to learn more about that myself.
We're not having to sign
Nice.
in
I'm
on
gonna
them.
have to go check them out and look for them. So yeah, as far as the Commanders are concerned, I had no idea that they were even playing yesterday. I saw people at my job wearing Commanders gear. One person had on this big gaudy necklace that looked like Run DMC. Actually, not Run D. It looked like Flavor Flav, honestly, with the clock or whatever, because the necklace was so gaudy. So I was like, I guess they must have won. They must have played. I had no idea. So I am definitely not a Commanders fan. But to all y'all Commanders fans out there, go right ahead, do what you do. More power to you. I'm definitely a Saints and a Cowboys fan. Do go to the games if the Saints or the Cowboys are playing, or one of my friends invite me out. I will, attend the game and things like that or whatever. But as far me, supporting the Redskins, I am so sorry. That is not something that I am a fan of. So I do not directly support the Redskins, although I've been called Redskin, Red Girl from Louisiana, Red Girl. But as far as me, being a Commanders fan, I am definitely not a Commanders fan. But to each his own. Congratulations to y'all. Y'all, I guess the game was okay or whatever. I have no idea. Like I said, I saw a lot of people at work wearing the gear today, so I just made the assumption, put two and two together, that they won. They brought out the gear, Mark. They brought out the gear. They had the hat. They had the chains, looking like Big Body, looking like Flavor Flav, and the big old gold necklace looking like Ron DMC. And I'm just like, okay,
They
what
brought out all
happened?
that gear. They brought out all that gear. But didn't you have a family member that was playing with one of those teams? I don't know if they won or lost, but it does, as I recall from our last show, it seemed to me you had a family member that was performing on one of the teams
Yes,
and
he played for
everything.
Texas Longhorns.
Okay, the Texas Longhorns. Cool.
Yes, I don't think they won. I think the other,
They did not
yeah, he
because
played for
the
the Texas
Ohio,
Longhorns, so he should.
yeah, be Notre Dame against Ohio State and Notre Dame against Penn State. I think that's who's playing in the college World Series. By the way, I did see that Caitlin, your favorite person, was in the news again because apparently there's somebody that is stalking her and everything, and we don't hear when people are stalking Angel or anything. But apparently, because she's being stalked by some Michigan man, she's all in the news and everything. And of course, we know that a lot of times in sports there is the Great White Hope, but apparently that is something that was also in the news was Caitlin being stalked and all along those lines. So I didn't know you had been thinking about the controversy because it's a new season between Caitlin and Angel and all along those lines, and some of the other great players and how they are sometimes given maybe too much notice and not enough notice to the ones that deserve it. But I just wanted your take on that. Oh, she's on mute. That's why I couldn't hear. You're on
Can you
mute.
hear me now? Oh,
I can hear you now.
oh, okay. So you said someone was stalking Caitlin?
Caitlin, yeah, that was in the news that she was being stalked by some gentleman out of Michigan.
I mean,
So
she's
that,
very popular, so I'm not surprised. I mean, I get stalked here, so it's no surprise there or whatever. I don't wish harm on her, so she needs to beef up her security because some of these guys can be extremely crazy, very dangerous when it comes to like stalking females and things like that or whatever. So I wish her all the best and things like that. I don't wish that on anybody because I've experienced it here. I experienced it when I was in Louisiana. I experienced it when I lived in Texas. I experienced it online and things like that or whatever. So that's not a good feeling to feel like somebody's always watching you. Somebody is like you're looking over your shoulder 24/7 and things like that or whatever. So no, I definitely would not wish that on anyone.
yeah, I agree with you on that and everything. It looks like Meta, and I know that Mark Zuckerberg met with Trump and everything, is cutting their DEI uh, department, and a lot of people are starting to cut their DEI department. So, is this something we're going to see? Is more businesses cutting their DEI departments? Because I know Mark Zuckerberg, I guess, went down to Florida and met with Trump before he started coming in office, which will be next week. But I am afraid that some of these DEI departments are going to be cut. But you're in the education space. Uh, do we need more DEI or less? And are you afraid of some of these cuts as well?
I'm not afraid of anything because at the end of the day, it's only 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, we're gonna sit this out. We're gonna, do what we have to do and things like that. Because at the end of the day, when those white folks that have these children by their, incestuous relationships and who have problems mentally and can't process and have all these autism and all this other genetic things that's going on, when they realize that it's going to directly affect them, everything is going to be halted and things like that or whatever. So I'm not worried about any of that stuff or whatever because they're the ones that's going to be affected most, not us. Because at the end of the day, we have to have certifications in order to be educators and things like that. It's the ones that's in the private schools that don't have to have teacher certifications, and the ones that are in charter schools don't have to be highly qualified to even be an instructor or an educator and things like that. Those are the ones that should be worried, not us. So I'm definitely not worried.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just out of curiosity, because you are in the education space and we're getting ready to wrap up shortly and everything, how much do you think, what changes do you expect from the education department? Because earlier today we were talking about the fact that uh, Miss McMahon, who used to be a part of the wrestling community and everything, was going to be running the Department of Education. Is she's confirmed and everything, and there was some conversations as to whether homeschool should be more regulated than it actually is on one of our earlier news shows and everything. So I just wanted your take on the whole notion of where you feel education is, and is it becoming too dependent on technology and AI? And I do know that that is part of your field and everything, but I just wondering where do you feel education is in the year 2025?
Well, I mean, honestly, we are behind other nations like thing over in China and Japan is already, technically logical sound and things like that. We are still limited in, a lot of things that we do or whatever. As far as our children being able to compete on a global scale, some of our kids can on a global scale, but most of the kids cannot compete compete on a global scale because we have idiots in office like Donald Trump who put kids in office like McMahon, who's over the WWE, who's going to be over the Department of Ed. You know what I'm saying? Trying to run something that they're not qualified to run. You know what I'm saying? So it's another shit show, just like when Betsy DeVos was in there, and people gave her pushback. So they're going to continue to give like pushback and things like that or whatever. So it's just going to be another shit show, honestly, until we get them up out of there.
Yeah, that's going to take a while and everything along those lines. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, how long we can take it till we can get him out of there and everything like that. But yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people are concerned that the trillionaires are taking over because we got Elon Musk and others that are now in control. So definitely, are you concerned that we may be heading toward an oligarchy and that?
Well, I mean, but the thing about it is. But the thing about it is, Mark, that's what they voted for. You're getting exactly what you voted for. Why are you concerned now? You know what I'm saying? This is what you voted for. This is who you voted for. You voted for a man who has never struggled in his life. You put people, you allowed him to bring in, Vivek Ramaswamy and things like that or whatever. Elon Musk. These people never really struggled. In Vivek, he actually utilized programs to get where he is today, and then those same programs, just like Clarence Thomas, wants to get rid of them so nobody else can utilize them. So what did you think was going to happen? That's the question that they we should be asking. What did you think was going to happen? These are the people that you put in place. You think that these people who were born rich with silver spoons in their mouth can relate to you? They can't relate to you. You know what I'm saying? So whatever happens at this point, Mark happens. I mean, like I said, we're part of the 92%. We really give rats asses. We give zero fucks about what they think what's happening and what they're worried about, because you had an opportunity to go with a different candidate in a different vision, but you chose what you wanted. So this is what you have to deal with.
No, that makes a lot of sense and everything like that. One of the other things that I saw that was interesting, and this is coming back to one of your favorite areas, Louisiana. So I'd love to hear your thoughts around this because sometimes people are having to come back to work, but apparently there was a news story on CBS earlier today. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a Bellefonte High School chemistry teacher, Frances Shaw. She had retired from Northside Hills High School in Lafayette, Louisiana, way back in 2012. But last year, because of a teacher shortage, the 80-year-old returned to work. So to celebrate Shaw's impact on as an educator, one of the CBS shows actually staged a pep rally to give her a huge surprise from Canva, an online digital platform and everything. So they surprised her because she had to come out of retirement because there was a shortage of teachers there in your home state of Louisiana. So she went back to getting back in the teaching front and everything. So I didn't know if you were aware of that story or your thoughts around this, the lady that decided to get back into teaching at the
to be honest, Mark, when I hit you up on when I hit you up in the chat, I was just getting home. I just ran in, used the bathroom, and really got myself together to come on. So I haven't had any time to process, look at any news or anything like that. Because I'm at a late school, so I don't get off work until like after 4:30. So I don't have time to like look at anything unless it's on the weekend.
No problem. Well, that just sounds like a good story to wrap up all things on shortly and everything. I'm going to actually see if the other one is working, if you can hear me on that. But if not, we'll get ready to wrap up.
Mhm. No, I cannot. You jumped off. Did you click off?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, I can hear you now. So I'm sorry, Mark popped off again. So I think he's having some type of technical difficulties and things like that. But like he said, we are getting ready to end the show and things like that or whatever. And today's show was called Fucking America or whatever. I didn't touch upon some things that I wanted to touch upon. But I think we have about 8 minutes, so I can talk about Meghan Markle going out.
Can you hear me
and,
now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So I wanted to, before we end the show, talk about Meghan Markle and how people talking about she's out there for a PR stunt or whatever. This woman has literally opened her home to people who she knows, her family and friends that were affected by the wildfires in California. I mean, my damn if she do it, she's damned if she don't. They're gonna say something regardless. And I was just over here reading something about Beyonce as well. Beyonce donated 2.5 million to the victims of the wildfire, and somebody going to sit on face on in the comments and say she should have donated half of her fortune. Why the hell she should have donated half of her fortune? Are y'all damn crazy? You know what I'm saying? Why she has to donate half of her fortune? Why can't nobody else donate half of their fortune? But y'all, and it goes. Y'all put these unrealistic expectations on Black women. You know what I'm saying? But y'all never put these unrealistic expectations on women of, of other colors and other races and things like that. But y'all want Black women to, carry the torch and things like that. But, just to piggyback and jump back onto Meghan Markle, she went out, showing her support for the people, and they're talking about she did it for a PR stunt. This woman has always lived a life of service. You know what I'm saying? She didn't do anything for a PR stunt. She opened her home to friends and family and things like that who were affected. What did you do while y'all over there criticizing and things like that or whatever? This woman, if she walks outside, they're saying she shouldn't walk outside because she looked like she got on, designer clothes. If she, holds her husband's hand, oh, she's too affectionate. My thing is y'all need to mind your own business and stay in your damn lane and leave Black women alone. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point in time, Black women are over it. We're done. We're tired and things like that. And we're not going to sit back and play passive and allow you just to talk crazy to us and about us and things like that. And Meghan has a show that's coming out. I want, everybody that's, support me to support her, because the haters and, the white women are already, talking about her show and, that it's boring. You haven't even seen her show. You don't even know what, what's the content and what it's going to, be and what she's bringing to the forefront and things like that. But I would definitely be watching her show and supporting her show and being in support of her. Mark.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Hopefully you can hear me still and everything along those lines and everything. So hopefully you can hear what I'm saying and definitely in that space. But yeah, I'll be curious to see. But she definitely deserves respect, and I don't know why people are hating on her just because she's trying to do give folks in that space and everything. I did see that one other news story, Dr. J is having a talk about his legendary partnership with Converse. So he's in the news again. So he was talking about when you're consistent in wearing a product, it gives you credibility and your product credibility. So he was consistent with wearing the Converse. So the basketball shoe Converse will always be remembered because of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, who popularized the weapon silhouette during the 80s. But long before Magic and Bird came, there was Julius Erving, and he was the NBA's first superstar and basketball businessman, is what MSN says. He was one of the first players to sign an exclusive shoe deal with Converse, and doing a pair of Converse events in 2012. Doc talked about his long-standing relationship with the brand, with the star chevron logo. I was actually just talking about shoes recently because I was talking about the fact that some kids don't even know what Kids was, meaning the brand Kids, and barely know what a Converse is and everything. But they do know the Jordans and some of the other shoes that are very expensive. But I didn't know if you had any thoughts around one of our leaders in terms of creating a deal way back in the ABA days, because that was back when they had the ABA in addition to the NBA. So even MJ credited Dr. J for paving the way to get these kind of endorsements and everything.
Right, exactly. And I as long as like I said, as long as we're supporting the Black community, I'm down for it. I'm not saying not to support anybody else, but I support home first. Right. And supporting Black children, Black community, and Black-owned businesses, I support that first, and then I go outside of the community and things like that. So anytime we can give homage and pay respect to somebody who has paved the way for others, I'm all for it. Definitely all for it.
Yep, and apparently, just in case you're wondering, because I looked it up on 137.com or 137pm.com, there are 17 Black-owned sneaker brands that you can add it to your collection. Everything among them are Nagus Footwear, 99 Products, and Ethics, the brand, as well as Sia Collective, but that's just 4. But if they go to 137.pm, they can see that there are some brands that are Black-owned, so you can actually even have some ways to support the community and all along those lines. As a matter of fact, there was an article talking about 10 Black-owned brands that you should know that you probably don't know, because I don't know all of them as well and everything like that. But definitely I hear what you're saying about supporting our own.
I do support and I do look for Black-owned brands because I'm always Googling and searching and things like that or whatever. So part of the Black 2025 project or whatever, they're combining, like Black owned stores, Black owned, clothing lines, Black owned businesses and things like that. So they're going to make all of that stuff available to all of us and things like that. So all of that is in the work. So they're compiling all that information for us. So we should have that information shortly.
We should have it shortly and everything. And I know we get ready to end, but just really quickly so the folks can see what some of these shoes look like.
Yes.
I thought just run down a couple of them really quickly and everything. But they do have a number of these brands that are out there, and that is some of the brands that are Black owned and everything like that.
Mhm.
So we've got everything from the Sash, which is actually owned by a sister, Allison Felix. So maybe we'll have to get her on the show. She was
Mhm.
a decorated track and field athlete and everything. So she created the brand Sash, and then there's Sia Collective, and then there's Rock Deep and everything, and then there's it actually looks like Rock
Mhm.
Deep. It's a 10-year-old athletic and outdoor footwear company that provides function, style, and quality. So it's been there for a while and everything. And then there is Q4 Sports. Those actually look kind of slick and everything like that. And there are a number of other ones as well, including Nagus. So, and like I said, those don't look too bad either. So there are a number of
Mhm.
ways you can support the community, and that's just a few of them that I showed. But they go to that particular website, v109.com, or the other one that I mentioned earlier. I'm sure that they can find some of the product and everything like that. But yeah, we'll have to reach out to them and see if we can get some of them on the All Around show to talk about their product and to be interviewed by the lovely and amazing Dr. Tawana.
Mhm. Yes, indeed.
Cool.
Yes, indeed. So yes, I'm sorry, but the clock on the wall says that's all, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in to another great episode of the All Around. We will be bringing you some more hot topics and that's fucking America information on the next
Yeah.
show and things like that. So make sure you guys click like and share, and you definitely support and tune in. So with that being said, Mark, take
That
us
being
on
said,
out.
we'll get on out of here.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the All Around. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Anthony. Please tune in on Mondays at 6 p.m. for your entertainment purposes. We will hit current topics, old topics, and everything else in between. Be there or be square. Deuces, my loves.